Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman. Hello. I've plugged my microphone in now so you can actually hear me talking.
Well, yes, fortunately you didn't miss a great deal, as I was just about to launch into telling you about a new guitar, a sort of a new guitar.
We are a little bit biased here.
A little bit biased, yes. We should now declare that not only do Rob and I have a stake in the company, this is also the signature guitar that...
of you.
Of me. So I
You're
obviously
doubly
can
biased.
be double biased.
Yes. Immediately decline and turn away from this video. You have reached the end of the internet. Turn back.
So just to show you in a quick sort of, potted history of Chapman, before I ever met Rob and before Chapman Guitars was ever conceived, this was my number one guitar, first guitar, that all through my sort of teens and 20s when I gigged a lot. Well, I say a lot, like, 2 or 3 times a week. This went everywhere, and it was originally green. It was originally green with a pearly scratch plate, like the Jeff Beck one.
Really?
But I'd modified it quite a lot, so I'd put my own pickups in there, or a different set of pickups in there, and it had a different tremolo system, and I'd put these shallow locking machine heads on it and stuff.
Maybe we should do an OG green version at some point then.
Well, and then it got quite battered, but not in a nice relic way, just in a, oh dear, I've dropped it again, battered way. And I thought, I'm going to get it refinished. So I took it to a local guy that I knew, and talking about refinishing and stuff, and he had some weird scratch plates that were made for... He was also the guy, I think, that used to do the final finishing for Burns guitars, in England.
Yeah.
Very 60s kind of British vibe. And he had this material that he was making scratch plates from, which apparently comes from Italy. And I went, that would look cool on a white guitar. And then I had this blue sticker.
And it's only made of 4 compacted tortoises per plate, so it's perfectly good value.
So I had this guitar for ages. And the only weird thing about this, there is a bit of a story behind this, in that I bought it off of a guy that used to work at Andertons, who had a reasonably pro kind of guitar player career. And anyway, he was buying a guitar from the Fender custom shop. And this was like a sort of a prototype version of it back when the Fender custom shop had an office in London. So anyway, what was weird about this guitar was when I bought it, it was already routed to have an HSH thing, and it was a mahogany body Strat, which is weird. I think the neck on it is just a standard American neck from an 80s Strat. So then fast forward to when Rob and I met, and we started doing the Chapman guitar thing, and Rob said, you should have a signature guitar.
Not for sale, it's Lee's.
So, and I went, well, that's interesting, because I've got this mahogany body Strat, and the Chapman ML1 at the time was, or is, a mahogany bodied guitar. And I said, look, I don't want to kind of go too over the top here. How about we just take an ML1, put an HSH signature set in there. I'll try and find a scratch plate that's sort of similar to that, and blah, blah, blah. And we'll get like a bit of a halfway sort of house version between an ML1 and my white Strat. And this was actually pretty popular. I think probably more popular than I ever thought it might be, particularly seeing it being used in genres of music that I don't even play and stuff like that. So that was cool, and I'm very proud of this guitar. But when we had a big overhaul of all the guitars in 2017, this guitar was discontinued. And to be honest with you, I wasn't massively... I didn't have a massive ego thing, must replace this. But so many people kept saying, what's happened to the old Cap10? Why is it not in the range anymore?
Well, it's fair to say we sold Hundreds. Hundreds of them.
Anyway, so it was like, why don't we just do the Cap10 again? But this time, instead of just effectively doing like a color variant on an ML1 and some different pickups, why don't you literally spec up what you would have? So this is where the new 2018 Cap10 came about. So this is still all the main ingredients of the original one. So mahogany body, HSH. But what we've changed now on this is we've upgraded 2 locking machine heads, which this one didn't have. The neck now has an Indian ebony fretboard on it, which was more perhaps through necessity, necessarily than I wasn't unhappy with the rosewood board that's on there, but
can't do them anymore.
Import and export permits are such a nightmare when you've got rosewood. So, but the Indian ebony's come out nice because it's kind of a browny looking ebony, so you don't really notice it's any different. Big upgrade, in my opinion, on the trem system. So we've gone over to these Wilkinson 2-point trem systems now, which means you can genuinely have it set up as a floating trem, which is lovely. And then the other thing that we'd never really... One of the big changes in the whole Chapman 2017 range was we'd never really spent a lot of time designing our own pickups. We'd always just either opted for a branded pickup like a Seymour Duncan, or we'd had what the factory had recommended or whatever. But Rob spent months, and Rob and Rabir in fairness, and they went through hundreds of samples of different pickups.
We just wanted to be in control of everything.
Yeah.
Because it's the most important part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And if you get it wrong or you leave it to someone else, then there are inconsistencies and you're not in control. So
after Rob had a settle on 3 or 4 different variants of pickups to go in the whole Chapman range, I then chose which ones I liked the best.
Well, these are obviously based upon what's in this
they were the ones I felt sounded closest, rather than, we didn't sort of go out to copy those or whatever.
But it's a pair of Stentorian humbuckers and then a Venus Witch single coil, all Alnico 5s.
Yeah.
The bridge is pretty stinking hot.
Yes,
and then the rest is a bit bluesy dial back.
It's one of the things that I had to modify on this guitar with our Texan Andertons, which this now comes from the factory as is, with the rolled fingerboard edges, which makes a massive difference to the way it kind of feels straight away. Stainless steel frets, which I'll be honest with you, I've never had to refret a guitar, which I think says more about how little I obviously don't play them enough, rather than the benefits of stainless steel frets or whatever. But, and of course, one of the things that we did, we actually made 2 prototypes of this guitar originally. One with the more angular body edges, which was the original Cap10, and one with more curvy ones, which is actually from the Captain America that the guys at Rift City designed, and they went for a more curvy design. And I tried the 2, and I was really like, I was completely 50-50, and then it was just like, no, come on, decide. And I just like held the 2 up, and I just went, this one. It's just, I guess it's a bit more traditional, isn't it?
It's quite, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word for how difficult it is to design a guitar for yourself. Because really that's what you've done. It's a burden, isn't it?
Well, I think...
You don't want to get it wrong and then not like your guitar.
Well,
and there are
absolutely.
so many possibilities, And
I don't think I'm... going to say that, this is, I will never play another guitar or anything like that. I think for me, I have to have different guitars that I can pick up and be inspired and get different sounds and different noises. But, I think what I like about this is it kind of sits in the Chapman range as probably, a more traditional looking guitar, rather than, sort of some of the more contemporary guitars, which appeals to me. I like the humbucker at the neck, but also the fact that you get the coil split sort of tones on the in-between positions.
Doesn't it come in 2 different finishes as well?
No,
Oh, doesn't
although
it?
it might do. As some of you may know, perhaps I should grab it, but I've got a little penchant at the moment for blue guitars with tortoiseshell scratch plates. And so I did have a render mocked up.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Which I did put on Facebook, actually. So if you follow me on Captain Andertons' Facebook page, you'll be able to see, just sort of putting the feelers out for what did people think and did they like it with the matching headstock, etc. And I think the general consensus was that with the dark board, the matching headstock looks quite nice.
Yeah.
But if we were to do it in a maple board, the matching headstock doesn't look cool. Like a natural headstock would look better. So
I'm a big fan of just having the headstock made of the wood of the guitar.
yeah, I don't know.
But people like matching
this
too.
works though, doesn't it? In the white, I
Yeah.
really like it. But I know what you mean, and maybe in blue it just doesn't work.
It's really interesting to see people get that and then play like crazy metal or like jazz or
Yep.
It's like genre agnostic.
Yeah, I mean there is a dude doing stuff on YouTube where he does these pretty epic videos in front of some sort of green screen thing where he's shredding away like crazy, and that's on it's actually on one of those. What do I do about the blue sticker, Rob? You know, because the original blue sticker was, I'm absolutely sure, with a pair of shoes that I bought back in, like the early 90s.
Well, I would modify it and have them made. And then
that's what this is. This is me going to a bloke and going, can you make me a Blue Man sticker?
Oh, right.
And now it's almost such a pain in the arse to sort of do that. I didn't bother doing it with this one, but I don't know. Do you think I just should?
I think it's nice case candy. But
Yeah.
you're just going to have to tell us in the comment section below. I don't know.
It's kind of
I wouldn't
a
add
thing,
it to mine
isn't
if I bought one, but then some people definitely would do.
So there you go. I mean, I will give you the tones just quickly, because with a completely clean amplifier, here is the neck pickup. A little bit fatter than a single coil at the neck, which I like, but position 2 or position 4, depending on which way around you do it. Middle pickup. These two. And then the back one, which is pretty honky. That I wouldn't use unless it was a drive pedal. And the one volume control, because it's like, I just think one volume and one tone, because I just think two tone controls on a Strat is just a pain in the bum.
Go on and give us some ridiculous
So
rally.
yeah, I'm using a mix of pedals here. Plimsoll, which is I keep going back to, but using the Dane a lot, the Thorpe FX, the Dane a lot.
Right.
And then this is just the Dane now. that's just through a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe amplifier. And
sounds great.
it's got a brass block, which actually was, I think, isn't that an upgrade that happened to all the... And the guys went, do you want a brass block? And I was like, well, I've never had a guitar with a brass block. Why not?
Makes you feel good on the inside.
It does. The first thing I noticed about this when I picked it up was... It's like... Maybe that's the brass block. I mean, it's super zingy.
It's bright and shiny.
And it comes with a hard case, which is rather nice. A Chapman wooden rectangular hard case.
When I recorded the track Holy Fire, I used a Cap10. Yeah, and it was great.
And I think I mentioned as well, this particular one isn't mine. This is one I've had to take from the shop.
Yeah.
Because one of the guitar magazines phoned recently and said, can we get a Cap10 for a review? And I went, the only one I've got literally in stock right now is my own personal one.
And they came, thanks, bye.
Well, they literally went, and I went, can you wait for the next batch? And I went, it's going to miss the episode deadline and all that. So I went, if you're really careful with it, I'll send you my own personal one. So when...
You're never going to get that back.
Yeah, no, I will do. I mean, I'd only had it for like a week or something when I sent it to them, so it was completely immaculate.
So what's the serial number of this one then?
This is WMI18030088. Two fat ladies, 88.
88.
There we go.
Whoever gets that has been touched by the Capt.
I think it's just great. I mean, I'm really pleased with it. Really pleased with it. I think they're about £700. I don't even know the price of my own signature
Not
guitar.
bad for a guitar with
Korean made
parts.
Yeah, so this comes out of the Korean factory, so it's kind of part of the Pro series or the Pro signature series. I like it a lot.
Can I have a little tinkle then?
Just of course.
Just
hello, old friend.
Can I have both of those dirty pedals on, and then let's have a little. It goes.
It's great sustain.
Yeah,
really
goes.
great sustain. I'm very pleased.
Yeah.
So there you are. The new Cap10 for 2018. If you like it, comment below. If you think it would look better in blue, that would be helpful feedback as well. And if you've got one, then make sure you send me pictures or videos of you to the Caps and Andertons Facebook page. It's always cool to see people playing them. Yeah. And these are available not just from Andertons, but from all Chapman retailers all around the world.
Well, especially all over America right now, because I think we just expanded into another 100 Guitar Center stores or something.
Madness.
It's madness.
It's madness. That's what it is.
Yeah, I will be at Guitar Center touring across America probably by the time this video goes live.
Oh dear, that needs some new strings and a bit of TLC. But it's,
Great
many
band.
a fond memory. Look at you have to see on the back, this is the old days of Andertons where we had so little guitar stock. We used to put our own guitars on display just to bulk the stock out.
Oh,
and
really?
So we always used to have to put things on the back of not for sale. Don't sell our guitars.
That's
back in the
really
day.
funny.
Back in the day.
Well,
Anyway.
there you go. Giant biased video about a company that we own.
Absolutely.
And
Warning, alert, completely non-impartial opinions here about
See you
this
later,
guitar.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You have reached the end of the internet. Turn back.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Andertons Guitar YouTube channel. If you're a drummer or a keyboard player or interested in music technology, you might find one of our other channels interesting, and I'll put details of those in the description below. If you want to find out more about the products we've just featured, please click here. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt like this, please click here. If you want to watch another video on our guitar channel, click down here. And to subscribe to our guitar channel, click here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.